Boys, girls, and everyone else, welcome back to another Destiny Rising video. This one is actually pretty huge, and no, I'm not just saying that for the title or the thumbnail. This is actually something that we've all been asking for, well, since Destiny Rising came out. And that's more transparency in what's going on behind the curtain. Are they listening? I made a video about that. Several others have made a video about that. And we finally have an answer. And the answer is yes, they are listening. They being NetEase. NetEase is listening to the community and making changes based off the feedback that they are receiving. Now, I called this in a recent video when I talked about my personal experiences regarding NetEase as a developer with a different game that I'm a content creator for, being Diablo Immortal. And yes, those of you on Reddit can thrash me on the subreddit for playing a different game. I'm so sorry. But anyway, not the point of this video again. But I did say that they do make changes while not in the speed or cadence that I would think the player base would probably want. They do it. They just take a lot of time because they want to get enough data to sort of get proof of concept and make sure they're not just listening to the loud minority, because in some cases content creators and just the overall community isn't always right, but you might get different information based off data. So that's sort of what they're looking for, and well, we see that now. So we look at the Discord. They posted this today at 9:14 a.m. Of course, I was at work like a good little duck when I got this, so I wanted to make a video, so you guys are now seeing it about 24 hours later. So I'm going to summarize it. I'm not going to read all this to you because all of yous are perfectly capable of reading this yourself. Basically, they spoke to the the impact that they did to where is it? I want to talk about this sort of in parts. So the first thing was the in-game activity expanse. They talked about all the issues that came from the original Act 2 for Season 1 and all the issues that came with it, and that they did apologize for that. They also compensated us pretty heavily for that, so hats off to them for that. But they also talked about how they've heard the community talk about Estella and how maybe she's not as potent or strong in the area she should be as well. Someone like Hellhest is, who is literally amazing in every aspect of the way. And it doesn't feel good for people who were pulling on Estella and then feel like they got let down or the rug pulled on them when Hellhest came out and was just better at things that she was just better at. Like there's certain, they say this in the post as well, that they want the legendary heroes to be the best at a very specific thing, and they don't necessarily want heroes to be good in all categories. They don't want like a just one and done hero. They want you to build out a whole team. And they do talk about that they are they've also heard our feedback on the fact that there is not necessarily as much depth or richness in the in-game content, to the point they actually make the comment that they're going to speed up their development process for some of those in-game items, which this is a massive win. This is the specific part I was talking about. For those of you that have been playing the game for a while, and I feel like a lot of you that do watch my channel have been playing at least long enough to get probably at least to the beginning of the in-game, or at least the in-game in general. Once you're there, it does not feel rewarding anymore. There's an obvious grind of character progression that you really can't grind. And once you run at a pinnacle, wait till tomorrow. And then, once you've done those things, or at least gotten the most out of it, you need to wait for a weekly reset to get, well, the really good stuff. And then you have to wait for an expanse reset or a calamity ops reset. And so you're constantly waiting, and you can't actually play or even continue to develop the hero you want. So they call that out in this as well. And I think that's just fantastic that they called out and identify that they've heard our feedback on that matter. In regards to Estella specifically, she's getting a buff. So pretty, I don't want to say substantially, but a noticeable buff. So the recharge time for Misfortune's Guide has been reduced from 11 seconds to 8. So there you go. Has a significant impact on Estella's combat flow. Reducing the recharge time grants her more room for error in battle. The base damage of Bewitched Illusions deal per hit has been increased from 90 to 100, so 10 more damage there. The base damage of Violent Reverie deals per hit has been increased from 210 to 230, which is a 20 damage increase. While firing weapons and for a short time after firing, Estella's 2 signature abilities will support a left-handed mode. Casting a signature ability will not interrupt firing, and Estella can begin firing at any point while casting. This adjustment will appear in-game after our weekly maintenance on Thursday. In some situations, Estella can gain corruption very effectively, which results in the need to repeatedly cast her signature ability. With these changes mentioned above, casting signature ability will have less of an impact on firing a weapon. So essentially, it sounds like you had to stop firing your weapon in order to cast the ability, which is the left-handed play that they're talking about, is what it sounds like. So you can sort of like continue to cast, but then also maintain your shooting, which is or at least do it faster. So it's more fluid, I guess is what they're aiming for here, which makes a lot of sense. So buffs to Estella, which is great. They also, if you have the exotic machine gun heir apparent, this will be changed after the Thursday maintenance as well, which is in, well, as the time you see this tomorrow. So precision damage multiplier has been increased from 1.2 to 1.35. So 0.15 more damage multiplier. The damage boost catalyst band 2 provides when repeatedly firing has been adjusted from 5% per stack up to 10 stacks to 10% per stack up to 5 stacks. So you're getting rewarded for more damage faster than having more ramp up, which makes sense. This allows the wielder to reach the max damage boost quicker when switching targets, which again is what I was saying. You're getting your max same damage period. You're just getting it at a faster rate. Instead of having to wait 10 stacks, you get it at 5 stacks, but same damage profile. Oops, wrong side. The barrel spinning up duration has been decreased from 1.2 to 1 second per catalyst and from 0.8 to 0.6 post catalyst. Okay, that's really interesting. So you actually get a couple second decrease there, which is good. I guess milliseconds technically. This charge lets the weapon begin firing sooner. That's a pretty good comment there. Pretty straightforward, but maybe it wasn't clear to everyone. The length of the time allotted before the barrel will need to spin up again after firing has ceased and has been extended from 2.5 seconds to 4 seconds. That's pretty good. Now, if the wielder casts an ability while firing or stops shooting for a short duration, they won't need to prepare the barrel again, significantly improving how the weapon feels. This is a lot less clunky for sure. This is the first time we've tweaked the Stella and heir apparent status. We'll continue to monitor character performance and balance. In our core play modes, we'll make adjustments as needed to ensure each character meets our expectations for a rich and diverse combat experience. So each time we make such balanced changes, we'll communicate our design philosophy with our community, which is, this again is what we've been asking for. So not only are they, the two biggest takeaways for this is that they are committing to speeding up the workflow, if you will, to get more in-game content faster, which is a massive, massive, massive W. And then they're also going to be communicating to us more. That I cannot tell you in all the games I've played how critical it is to be getting communication at a faster rate, or just a more consistent rate. So this is huge. Moving on, in-game expanse. We talked about that already, but they are also talking about how they're going to expand the expanse further, which is quite literally their last sentence. So maybe we'll have more levels with higher tier rewards, which is again fantastic. That's what we want. This one was very exciting for a lot of people. Server merges. So they're going to be working on basically doing server clusters or allowing more people in more servers to play with each other. They talked about very specific region groups that are going to be tied together. So we'll merge the NA and the Latin America servers, and then EMEA and APAC servers. So instead of having 4 different servers, there'll be 2 server clusters. It did say that they're also going to be working their best to prioritize similar ping where possible, unless you go into a match or a game where you've matched, like you've brought a friend who maybe is from one of those new servers, and then obviously one of you is going to have some rough ping, which is, again, you're going to see that with any game you played with something like that. But this is really good. And this is the last part they're talking about: latency, distance issue, blah, blah, blah. So closing words, they basically thank us for their feedback. And again, this is good. Not only are they thanking us for their feedback, but they are quite literally acting on it. And like I said, the 2 biggest takeaways here is that they are going to expedite the development of new in-game systems for Destiny Rising, and 2, that they are obviously going to be keeping an eye on their in-game stuff and making good changes to that. This is fantastic. Again, if you invested in Estella and you felt like she was subpar after you saw Hellhest, you're getting rewarded. Now, this could be a little bit of a downer if you thought that, maybe Estella wasn't as good and now she got buffed and you're like, well, I missed her because I don't have her at all. Because again, the game, at least in any reasonable capacity, is not going to be a type of game where you can just pull for every single character, at least in my opinion. But anyway, this is really good. So they're showing that they're listening to us. They're showing that they're going to, make adjustments based off our feedback. Again, data-driven analytical decisions, which is very appreciated. But then more importantly, that they are expediting the in-game content. This is massive. Love that for us. Anyway, let me know what you guys think about this. Which part are you most excited about? I know that a lot of people are really, really excited about server merges. I do have some friends on different servers, different region servers, but honestly, the biggest one I'm excited about is the expediting of the in-game content. I don't know Why? Probably just because I want to be able to finish my heroes faster, or just in general for that matter. But I am actually really excited for more in-game content. So let me know what you're most excited about in the comment section below. And yeah, I hope to see you guys in the video soon. See you later. Bye.